What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Two Knicks Chicks. I'm your girl, Lady and the Chef, joined by my co-host.
Diva Locks 21. What's up, everybody?
Another day, another Knicks game. So this week, the Knicks have three games on the schedule. So this past Monday, the Knicks played the Clippers. We won that game. And then this evening, we're playing against San Antonio. So that should be a great matchup. The Knicks tip off at 7:30, probably more like 7:40. And then Friday, the Knicks host against Charlotte. So on Monday, I was on Steph's show on Dope Soul Sports Talk. And at the end of the episode, she asked myself, Ajay, and DJ Shuttle, shout out to everybody. She asked us what were our predictions for this week. I said the Knicks should take all three, but I would love if they go at least 2-1. So the fact that the Knicks won yesterday, great start. The Knicks can beat San Antonio. They just got blown out by Indiana the other day. I believe that was Monday. I think they got blown out. It was like 111, 157. So they got obliterated. San Antonio is going to come into this game against the Knicks. Wemby's playing at the Garden. They're going to look for a win. But I did notice a nice move that Victor had against Obi. Obi went to go try to post them up, and Wemby just literally held the ball against the back. So Obi had
No
nothing to
match.
nowhere to go. Yeah, no match at all. And then Friday we play against Charlotte, which is one of those teams that, like I was telling you before, the Knicks should be able to beat. Charlotte's a beatable team. And I also think that the Knicks could beat San Antonio also because they are a young team, but they're a good team. So I guess I'll start off asking you, what are you looking forward to for tonight's game?
Well, definitely. I mean, like you said, the Spurs is a young team. They're a high intensity team, and they have scores. You know, um, you definitely got to deny Wemby the ball as much as you can. And Mitch, he can hold his own. And other guys help out, but not too much because you got to realize this guy's 7'4" with a wingspan of 8 feet. So he's gonna find his man, uh, and make him take tough shots. Eh, they can do that. Our guards got to definitely be on point. Make some contributions. It's got to be great ball movement on our part. For us to win and be successful. Rebounding is key. And again, like the Knicks did on Monday, putting a great defensive effort, against the Spurs. They are beatable. At any given night is anybody's game. It's not handed to you, and it's not given to you. You have to go out there and take it and earn it. So those are just some of the things that the Knicks can do, collectively. What's your thoughts on it? What's your take on it?
Well, before I get to my takes, I do want to point out that both the Knicks and the Spurs are both 3-4
Yeah,
in their standings. The Knicks are currently ninth on the Eastern Conference. So both teams pretty much have a same start as far as records. But I think as far as the season, touching on what you just mentioned with Mitch, I think the way Mitch can be able to hold his own, even though Wemby is taller and has a longer wingspan, I think that Mitch is going to have to use muscle.
yeah,
He's going to have to make sure he boxes out, and he is going to have to come up and guard him because he can shoot the mid range and the three.
yeah,
And I think the key for the Knicks, which the first half of the Clippers game when the Knicks played, I noticed the Knicks were playing help defense and helping each other out. And it hurt them in the first half of the Clippers game because the Knicks were like, helping out whoever else was guarding, whether it's Westbrook or Harden. And when the Knicks do that, it hurts them. When
yeah.
they're playing this help defense, they have to learn how to stay on their man and guard their man one on one. So I think that's going to be key against tonight's game is that each guy is going to have to really stay on their man. guard them one on one, keep them, guard the perimeter threes because, they're going to shoot those. They're going to move the ball around. And they're also going to take the ball inside. So I think that the Knicks are going to have to do a good job on the defensive end. And then also, just I think the Knicks don't want to settle for the 3-point shots. If you have them, take it. But if not, drive. I thought Monday's game, the Knicks had nice ball movement. At one point in the first half, there was a bit of ISO ball that I saw with like RJ and Randall kind of doing the ISO plays. Brunson was off, so hopefully he'll be able to bounce back this game tonight. I think he only had like 7 points. We do need Randall to score for us as well as RJ. Another person that I did see that wasn't really, he didn't really look to shoot was Josh Hart. I saw him, doing a lot of passing, which was great, but I would have liked to see him go for those little mid-range shots or shoot the ball. I'm not even asking for threes. And another standout from Monday's game for me was DiVincenzo. So can he
Oh
carry
yeah,
that over into tonight's game and hit the threes for us? But I think the key to that is the Knicks spacing the floor out and being able to hit guys with the open three. And the Knicks also did play really good defense. We had a lot of good active hands. Mitch had some good hands. Him and Hartenstein did a good job down low with the boards and just on the defensive end. So the Knicks was able to in turn get a lot of like nice lobs down the court, and
yeah,
God was able to get those easy fast break points. So I think the defensive end is definitely going to come first, and then let the rest of the game come to you, but try to keep a nice pace to the game.
yeah, and we definitely need Brunson to to score. I don't know if it's because it was word going around, a little chatter that they asked, "Oh, well, do you think Brunson is the one of the reasons for Randall's struggles?"
No.
I don't know how you're going to blame another man for another man's struggles, but I think and sometimes that get into players' head. They become timid or they don't look for their shot as often. So quite frankly, it could have been why Julius had that awesome game, but he's gonna need to definitely step up, and do what he do. Command, take the ball, take the game, and also be a distributor. So we definitely need his contribution. And let's see what happens.
I think a lot of people were saying that Jalen Brunson, they felt like he wasn't passing the ball enough. But I
Yeah,
think people forget that who is he going to pass it to when where guys are struggling or off? That's when he has to take over and do what he needs to do. So if RJ and Randall aren't doing they're not on, Brunson has to take over and do what he needs to do.
yeah,
I don't think that Brunson is ball hogging. I think that he does a great job orchestrating the offense.
yeah. Me
And,
too.
one of the things that I saw at one point during the game, I didn't see it much, but I saw in the Clippers game, I don't remember if it was Randall that took the ball out or if it was Hartenstein Mitch. One of the guys took the ball out and quickly was going to bring the ball up. And quickly was bringing the ball up, and Randall stood there and was like this. And I remember saying to myself, see, that's the problem. In a case of like, if it's quickly bringing up the ball, quickly could bring the ball up the
Yeah,
court. I
yeah,
feel comfortable with him bringing up. Now, Grimes, I may be a little like, he may get pickpocketed and get the ball stolen.
yeah.
But quickly could comfortably bring that ball up as a backup
Oh
point guard to Jalen
yeah,
Brunson.
exactly.
I wish that Tibbs and the coaches would tell Randall, get down the court.
Yeah,
We don't need you to bring the ball down, especially if they're not double teaming or they're not pressuring up on the ball. Go down the floor and be ready for the pass. This
yeah.
guy, he's standing there like a security guard, like, I'm going to stand here. I'm going to help you out, bro. He's standing here. For what reason are you doing that? He can more than confidently bring up that ball comfortably, and he's
Oh yeah,
not
for sure.
sloppy, unlike with Randall, who got the Randall handle and he loses the ball as soon as he starts doing too much dribbling. And then I saw another thing that he did. He didn't do it much. He did it once or twice where Randall stopped his dribble. And you hear Clyde say this a lot when he's commentating home games. He goes, folks, that's why you don't stop your dribble early.
Yep.
dribble and Randall stopped his dribble. He didn't have nowhere to go. He got bailed out and was able to pass the ball out, but you can't do that. But I just don't
Yeah,
want to see Randall waiting to bring the ball up when he has no handle. I want to see you go down the court and get ready to shoot or do whatever we need you to do on that end. But I think with Brunson, as far as Brunson and Randall, they have two different styles of play, and that's okay. Every
yeah,
player is not going to play the same. But I think Brunson's game IQ and mentality is on a different level than Randall's. And I
oh for
spoke
sure.
about this on Steph's show on Monday. We brought up players' IQ, no pun intended to IQ, but players' basketball smarts. And there's different levels to how guys play. And I think when you have guys, and the two guys I brought up from the Knicks was Brunson and DiVincenzo. And I say DiVincenzo because he comes from those playoff, deep playoff or championship teams
And a
where the
system.
level of IQ right is there and the decision making is there. And I think with with Brunson has that level of IQ that he's looking to play make and he's looking, but when you don't have guys around you in a team that's moving to the right spots or doing what they or setting the right screens, coming off the curl, doing the little things on the offensive side, what are you left to do as the point guard?
Yeah, because now, and if he don't take the game into his hands, or at least try to help them win, it's going
You're
to be
doomed.
chatter about that. So it's like,
Right,
damn if you do, damn if you don't. But
right.
then, when they start questioning, your game, I think that's unfair. They say, oh, well, he didn't get enough touches. Randall was 5 for 20 in that last game that they lost.
Right.
Like, how many touches you want to get? So I
Prior
think
to
that's,
Monday's game, Randall's dead last
yeah,
in shooting and percentage. So
yeah,
again, and I wish people would wake up. And I saw a lot of the chat was in agreement as far as what we were discussing with Randall because we did a nice little segment on Randall itself. But I think, and I spoke to Steph about this before we actually went live, and I said, I saw people making comments about, Steph said it's like people want to off with his head and dethrone him from the team. But I think the reason why, and like I explained to her, was that it's the attitude and the body language that Randall displays, and
hmm,
he lets that carry into his game throughout that
yeah,
whatever particular game they're playing in that evening or the early afternoon game. Randall doesn't know how to shrug it off and say, "Okay, let me do what I need to do. Be a professional. Let me come here and play my game." You know, I know DJ Shuttle said maybe they need to bring back the Mr. Miyagi guy that they had to do the meditation with him that they was doing. But whatever the case may be, you're in a professional league. And I think mentally you gotta not let that trickle down into your game and affect you doing what you need to do to contribute to the team getting that W at the end of the night. So, Randall and Brunson have different IQ levels when it comes to style of play.
yeah,
The
for sure.
decision making between him and Brunson is completely different, and Brunson's not going to stop his dribble. He's going to also drive, you know what I mean? So I just think that, people will say that, but again, the level of IQ is very different for, the guys who have that basketball IQ level. They're on a different level than the guys who are just playing basketball within the league. And you could have the skill and talent, but there's two different levels that you'll have there. Looks like we lost Steve Lock, so she'll probably join us. But I think a lot of you Knicks fans out there could totally agree with me and agree that when it comes to, yeah, I was just telling everybody that we lost you, but you'll be
Yeah,
back.
yeah, I can hear you, but yeah, my thing went out.
But yeah, there's different levels of IQ, but I think what I'll ask you is, speaking of the IQ, do you think that Randall will be able to start to get into his groove and his rhythm and start to make those better decisions now that he had that good game on Monday?
Yeah, maybe this would be the catalyst for him to, continue on, playing great basketball. You know, like I said, I believe in him, and he is capable of, giving us double doubles. Maybe this is what he needed, that breakout game. So I think, and I'm hoping that this will, carry over going forward. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I thought that he played a really good game.
Oh yeah.
He played 37 minutes, had 27 points. RJ played 31 minutes, had 26 points, so he had a really good game. Mitchell Robinson played 35 minutes, had 15 rebounds and 13 points.
Yeah.
Nice game for Mitch.
Huge.
Jalen, go ahead. Oh, I thought you were saying something.
Oh no.
Um, Jalen Brunson played 35 minutes, only had 6 rebounds, 7 points, 3 rebounds.
Hmm.
Quentin Grimes had 21 minutes, 3 points. Josh Hart had 32 minutes. He had 3 rebounds, 7 assists, and 10 points. Quickly played 20 minutes, had 7 points, 5 assists. Dante had 16 minutes, 6 rebounds, 12 points, and 1 assist. Now,
Hmm.
what's interesting, Isaiah Hartenstein had 13 minutes, played 13 minutes. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 6 points. Now, what's interesting to me with the stats is, as far as the minutes go, is Dante DiVincenzo's getting minutes. He played 16, Grimes played 21. So I think,
And he outscored Grimes in
and
less
he out,
minutes.
but see, it goes back to what we were saying a few episodes ago. I really think at some point throughout the season, DiVincenzo is going to start getting more minutes than Grimes.
Oh yeah,
I
for
feel
sure.
like Grimes gets the starting role because of his defense, and Tibbs likes to put him on those key guys on the opposing team, which is all fine and dandy. I thought Grimes did a great job on Harden. It was great defense, but it was just better offense.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of those shots
definitely.
that Harden was making, that's easy money for him to make. But I
Hmm.
think with DiVincenzo, why he's going to start to get more minutes is because he can score. He can knock down the three. Grimes three is just not there. It kind of reminds me of RJ's previous seasons making a three. Brick, bang, gang. It wasn't going down. Hitting everything but through the hoop. And Grimes shot a lot of times is it's just not a consistent three for us. So I see Dante DiVincenzo, not Divinchenko, like Staffer likes to call him. He always calls him
David.
Divinchenko. I don't it sounds like some horror movie character. I don't know where he gets that from. But DiVincenzo to me is going to take Grimes minutes. I feel very confident saying that.
Oh yeah, it's just a matter of time. I mean, Tibbs. We all know his coaching style. He's like a player's guy. Like, you know, I don't know if it's because he likes you or whatever. And and he probably see things, in the practice that of course we don't see.
Yeah.
So, that's probably why he's getting the start. But eventually, like you say, DiVincenzo will, I believe that he's gonna, definitely take that start role. And it may not be for the remainder, but he may rotate, see how he plays, coming, starting and Grimes coming up the bench. He may, see how that works.
Yeah, agreed. So do you feel like Tibbs is gonna play around with the rotation he has now? Is it an 8 man or is it a 9 man rotation now?
I think it's only 8.
Yeah, see, he slimmed
No,
it down
9. It's
again.
still 9. It's still
Okay.
9. No, listen, I think he's happy with them, outside of, McBride coming in. Nah, I think
Okay.
he's gonna leave, well enough alone. I mean, especially it's not like we're getting blown out.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
defense is still there. Could be a little bit better, but it's nevertheless it's still there. I don't think there's no reason to tweak it outside of if Grimes continue to struggle. Um, he had that one, I guess, semi breakout game.
Yeah.
But it's, let's see what tonight holds for
But that's what we were saying, is that going to be, can Grimes be consistent?
him.
And
Yeah,
actually, in Monday's game against the Clippers, the second squad, the bench actually pulled us through in the fourth
yeah.
quarter.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So if the Knicks bench can, because one thing I said on Steph's podcast on Monday, I said the Knicks don't have a bench, and they were all like, "No, we have a bench," and I was like, "Yeah, but when the bench is on, kind of like with the starters, you know what I mean?" I think it goes back to what you and I was talking about, and we definitely got to tap into the front office, is that we have to work with what we have for now. But
yeah,
to me, the Knicks don't have like a really good group of guys. Key emphasis on the word really before good. We just have a decent squad, you know?
yeah,
And one thing Steph brought up, which I thought was a great point, was that with the front office is when they make their off-season trades and decisions, it's like, are we looking into rebuilding and developing guys, or are we trying to go after a championship? Now, to me, you can't regress and go back and try to go in redevelopment stages. We already did that when you
yeah,
had
yeah,
Grimes, when you was still developing RJ and etc. We already went through that. We weeded out the like the C and D players that we had on the team. Not gonna go down the long list of those guys, but true Knicks fans know who I'm talking about. I think also because we went as far as we did last season, you can't go back.
yeah,
And
yeah.
also, Knicks fans, we're tired of going through the rebuilding phase. We've
Rebuilding
done
phase.
that for years. Let's cut the crap. It's time to go to the next level. Why do
Hey,
you see other teams? Look at Orlando. Steph had pulled up a slide of the standings of where teams are right now. I think Orlando was like number 6 or 7.
wow.
But what I explained to them was, you Orlando's not a bad team. They just fell short a lot of games last season.
Yeah.
They didn't have many games where they were getting blown out. They were losing by a couple of points, just like how the Knicks do when they lose games. They're not getting blown out, which thank
Mm-hmm.
goodness, because years ago, the Knicks were getting blown out in games by 20, 30 points, couldn't
Oh
hold the lead
yeah.
to save their lives.
Oh yeah. It was
So it
bad.
is a big turnaround, but it goes back to what I'm trying to say right now, is that you can't go back in the front office. You have to bring in guys who are going to get the job done, who are ready and going to take us to that next level, who are going to be able to be ready with Jalen Brunson.
Yep. Championship caliber players. I mean,
Exactly.
that's the goal. Like the rebuilding phase, we did that. It didn't work out. So like I always say, when plan A fails, go to plan B and C. So, you got to be able to plan for the future, and rebuilding phase is just not where it's at.
No.
So let's hope.
Yeah, I think it's important that Leon Rose and the front office staff on the New York Knicks organization make solid moves after the season. And I believe it's a business. So if you have to get rid of guys, it was
So be it.
nice. Right. So be it. It was nice, but listen, we have an agenda at the end of the day. And honestly, if you ask me, even if you have to get rid of Tibbs, you gotta get rid of Tibbs. You gotta get rid of Tibbs. And I'm not bashing Tibbs. I like Tibbs as a coach, but what I'm saying is, if you really trying to change the direction of the team and
Yeah,
go to the next level, and the Knicks need to start to become one of those teams that could consistently every season make the playoffs, and not just the first round. You
yeah,
got to be able to be one of those teams that, how certain teams in the NBA, Boston, your Warriors,
yeah.
they're known to be in the playoffs every year.
You gotta be able to contend.
Indiana, they get to the playoffs every
Yep.
year. So you can't be a team that we struggling to get to get in the eighth spot, the seventh spot. You don't want to be there. And that was something else that I mentioned on Monday's Dope Souls podcast. You don't want to do that. But I think the Knicks have to be able to turn it around, get to the next level, and bring in guys and put the pieces of the puzzle together because right now you have one lone wolf, and that's Jalen Brunson. And I think Randall's a good player, but we don't know which Randall we're going to get on any given night. And I'm not even just talking about the play. Put the play aside. He's a good player. I think mentally, we don't know where he's going to be on a given night, which
Yeah.
in turn is a domino effect because it affects his game. We need a solid center. You look at
Yeah.
guys like Anthony Davis, Victor Wembanyama, Bam Adebayo. These guys have multiple facets to their game.
And they elevated their game.
Right.
Mm,
And that was another point that I mentioned. I said, Steph asked me, do I think that the Knicks players that we have, is this their ceiling or is there room for improvement? I said, this is the ceiling. I'm being honest. And I use Grimes as an example. Grimes looks like he's doing the same things he's been doing the last 2 seasons. I'm not asking for a miraculous 20, 30 points a game. No. Even if you gave us a solid 10, 12 points a game, but on a
yeah.
consistent basis, you're not even giving us that.
You
I
gave
don't
me.
see
Yeah.
anything different within his game. And the point of me bringing that up, bringing him up just in particular, and Mitchell Robinson also, I would have been happy even if he just had a little hook shot, a little floater. I'm not even asking for a bunch of footwork, but these guys, when the off season came, you gotta hire the professional staff to help you get you some tricks under your sleeve and give you a couple of more moves to have for the next following season. You mean to tell me during the whole summer you couldn't work on one or two moves to master down that you could start to use for next season? Even if it wasn't perfection and it may take you 2 or 3 summers to get it right, but you didn't work on nothing?
You know what? To Mitch's credit, and I see his style of play this year, and I don't know if he's gonna ever develop like any type
No,
of
he's not.
hook or mid range or whatever. Mitch gets a lot of his points in the paint. He does a lot of tap ins. So I don't think he will ever like have that type of game and style
Yeah.
of play. And we get the contribution by his rebound,
Mm-hmm.
his the offensive and defensive and that's
Agreed.
him. So and if he continues to give us the 13, 15 or whatever 12 18, I'm fine with that if because that's his
Yeah.
style of play. And he's been off to a great start, but you know if he continues that, we that'll help us along the way. So I'm giving up on Mitch developing the game, and that
No,
is
it's
his thing.
true. It's true. That's why I didn't use him as the example. But no, I've
Yeah,
come to terms with it too. Mitchell Robinson, he's known more as a rebounder, whether that's on the offensive or defensive end. And he's a
yeah,
great rebounder. He does it
yeah,
well. He does the tip ins really well. He really is a down low defensive threat.
yeah.
Also, a lot of guys don't want to come in that paint sometimes because they're like, damn, Mitch is standing right there. He gonna either block my shot or they don't want to go against him. Mitch is a very strong guy too. He stays in the gym and works out.
Yeah,
But I think when you have guys like I was saying, like with Grimes, you're starting.
yeah,
You're not really an offensive option for us. That's a problem.
yeah. It's like
Then you
right
work
at
with Penny Hardaway and what's his
Reddick,
name? Yeah, then you
JJ
work with
Reddick.
them.
Yeah, allegedly, yeah. No, but they did have some footage of him working with Reddick. But at this point, if he's not an asset, then guess what? You're a liability. So put someone that can give you that push and those points. I mean, and we'll see.
That's why I think Tibbs should play around with that lineup and sometimes try DiVincenzo because he
Hmm.
can hold his own down on the defensive
Oh
end.
yeah.
And he's quick on his feet, just like Grimes, and quickly he could give you the steals. I think he should play around with that and see what we can do or how the Knicks look with sometimes bringing in DiVincenzo from the start. But
Hmm.
nonetheless, the Knicks front office definitely have to make some changes in the off
Yeah.
season.
So
Um,
hold on. Okay.
but yeah, um, I'm looking forward to tonight's game. What are your predictions for tonight's game and Friday?
Well, definitely, I believe that they're beatable. They have the same record as us, so I'm predicting a W. Um, the score, I similar to the Clippers, or maybe with the Spurs a little bit more, but I'm predicting we get this win. They're leading us. This guy, he's out. Well, not think he was questionable. What's that? That kid, what was his name? He was out from the Spurs. That Devin, I think that he's out. So, but
Hmm.
we got to see. Um, right now, I'm gonna just gotta wait and see.
But what are your predictions? So you think the Knicks are going to win the next two games tonight and Friday against Charlotte?
Yeah, well, yeah, Charlotte's another young team. They like to run and gun. I think that's gonna be, a nice, neck and neck and toe to toe. They're young, just like the Spurs. When you got these young guys, they like to run.
Yeah.
They want to do the dunks and a lot of transition that they do. So, I'm predicting. I'm hoping they take all three. They took Monday's game. I'm hoping they get Charlotte too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's my prediction. I'm going high and I'm saying the Knicks take all three. I think the Knicks can win tonight's game as well. And then especially because they're at home, keep the momentum. And then Friday, I do think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Knicks
yeah.
could pull away in the fourth quarter
Mm-hmm.
and run away with it. And yeah, the Knicks could definitely win, close out this week with some good wins. So yeah, we about ready for tip off. It's 7:44.
No, and
Um,
actually play Charlotte Sunday.
oh, it's not Friday.
No, Sunday, but it is at home though.
Oh, it's an early game. I think it's like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
12
it's an
o'clock game.
early
Okay,
game.
yeah, 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 you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that
so
gives them some rest. Not
yeah,
too
yeah,
much
for
rest, because
sure.
when they have too much rest, they all of a sudden, you know, like
Yeah,
they some and sometimes when the teams play those early games, I don't know if they needed some more rest, they didn't have enough breakfast.
yeah,
You know what I
yes.
mean? Guys come out all sluggish. It's like, oh, it's
Yeah, yeah.
early.
Some early
Like,
games sometimes can hurt you.
yeah, you're not gonna always play at 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta play early. So, but yeah, anything else before we get out of here?
Um, no, again, they just gotta just hold Victor and make him take tough shots.
Yeah, agreed. And don't let him out rebound you. Put a body on him.
Yeah, for sure.
Mitch and Hartenstein, they're gonna have to put a body on him for
Yeah,
sure.
tall task ahead, but it's hey,
It's
you know,
doable.
it is.
It's doable. And then you just gotta, because he's also a great passer. So you're just gonna have to watch him. But the Knicks could take this. I think if they work
Mhm.
collectively, they'll start to slowly but surely get back to their rhythm. And hopefully we could have both Randall and, or three guys rather, Randall, RJ, and Brunson on tonight. So that way, we'll have a great game. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all for us today. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Two Knicks Chicks. Like always, subscribe to our channel, leave us a comment, like this video so we could pop up on the algorithm. We're answering everybody's comments. So yeah, just keep supporting the channel. We're gonna keep coming with the content. And thank you for joining us today. And let's go Knicks.
Let's go next. Peace.